Oh, man, chat. Man, what an interesting game that we just saw out of our Seattle Mariners. The loss, whatever. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just gonna turn the music off. I don't care, really. I don't care about the loss. This is a Mariners Anonymous stream because Logan Gilbert had to leave with forearm tightness. And that leaves the question, what the hell do you do if Logan Gilbert has to miss time? Because if he has to miss time while George Kirby, who we still have no idea when he's going to go back out on a rehab assignment, right? You are left with Logan Evans. That's it. Also, new Mariners Anonymous merch. What a real crappy way to have to show it off today. But we got the Mariners Anonymous merch. It has the Mariner Mojo logo. And then on the back, it has the Mariners Anonymous. If you or a loved one has been diagnosed with a Mariners addiction, you may be entitled to compensation. Keyword there is maybe. I am not going to pay you. Just so we're clear, I'm not going to pay you. Yeah, I mean, a loss to the Marlins is one thing, right? A loss to the Marlins is one thing. A loss of this nature, where Logan looked sharp, but I tweeted about it in the first inning after his first strikeout, and I said, something doesn't look right. Like, Logan was wincing. He looked like there was a time where he was, like, flexing his arm, which turns out that's exactly what he was doing. Man. Jonathan Diaz did good the other night. Man, well, that's good. Here you go, chat. Mariners Anonymous merch. Smile. We'll pin that, don't worry. We're losing the only thing we're good at. Dude, so the question is, I feel like we have to assume the worst, right? People may be like, oh, it's just forearm tightness. Oh, thank God. Forearm tightness is generally the first sign of needing Tommy John surgery. The first sign. And so, yeah, I mean, hey, like, if it comes out tomorrow that he has no structural damage and he's going to be on the 15-day IL and be fine after that, sick. I don't know. JD with the $5 holla says, pretty cool Dan punted this game. When do we draw the line with this dude? I honestly don't think that Dan punted the game. I think, chat, that Dylan Moore punted the game. If he didn't miss the easiest ground ball I've ever seen, Joe and I were hitting balls to each other in my backyard yesterday. We made that play multiple times yesterday. This game's on Dylan Moore. 100%. This game is on Dylan Moore. But that's not what we're here to talk about, Chet. That's not what we're here to talk about. But I appreciate the $5, JD. I don't really blame Dan for this one. I can't blame him for punting this game especially once Lawrence gave up those 6 runs. You got to assume it's over. Good on the offense for fighting back there for a minute with that Polo home run. But yeah. What do you all do? Because organizational pitching depth isn't very solid last time I checked. Also, AJ is a Marlins fan, chat. Give a round of applause to AJ with the W today. That's the thing. So, in the interim, in the short term, right? Let's assume that Logan has to at least go on the 15-day IL, right? Let's assume he at least has to go on the injured list. You probably, to replace him, bring up Logan Evans. Now, if I look at Logan Evans' numbers on the year, I don't think he had a great outing his last go around. Hold on. Forgot my air conditioner was on. Hold on. Anyway, I don't think that Logan Evans, that is, had a good outing his last time. I'm not sure. On the year, he has a 3.86 ERA in 25 2/3 with a 1.247 WHIP. He has 23 strikeouts in those 25 innings. So that is the guy that you probably call up in the interim, right? That's the guy that if the Mariners have to cover 3-4 starts, right, for Logan Gilbert, You're wearing your Mariners Anonymous shirt tonight too, Autumn. I got the Mariners Anonymous brew. Oh god, I'm covering it. I got the Mariners Anonymous brew. I got the Mariners Anonymous shirt. Autumn, I appreciate you buying the Mariners Anonymous merch. If you have to cover 3 or 4 starts, you probably just go with Logan Evans, right? You have Emerson Hancock in the rotation. You have Logan Evans in the rotation. However, if, let's say, Logan Gilbert is out for longer, let's say it is worst case scenario, chat, which I don't want to play the guessing game, but again, forearm tightness is generally the first sign of Tommy John surgery, right? And so, if Logan, worst case scenario, has to get Tommy John surgery, he's likely out until the All-Star break or trade deadline of next year at the earliest. If that's the case, then you probably have to make a trade. Now, I had 3 guys that make sense. Eric Fetty, in my opinion, makes sense as someone the Mariners could trade for. He's with the Cardinals. Andrew Heaney was another one who's had a pretty good year so far. There was one more. Oh, and Zach Littell with the Rays. The 3 of them, in my opinion, have the opportunity to be traded this season, even prior to the trade deadline, because they're on teams that aren't doing extremely well. I don't think the Marlins are going to trade Sandy Alcantara, chat. Just so we're clear, that's not going to happen. Yeah, Donatello, Miller is. It could be Lit Drip. It could be. The injury could literally be Tommy John surgery. But when it comes to moves you can make, I think the 3 guys I just named, that was Zach Littell, Andrew Heaney, and Eric Fetty. All 3 of them can eat innings for you, and they can... they're not terribly expensive. They're on 1-year deals. I think the most any of them's getting paid is like $7.5 million. So if you make a trade for one of them, you're probably paying them what, like $5 million the rest of the year? Who cares, right? And they're not gonna cost you your top prospects. At this point, what the Mariners need is they need quite literally another Emerson Hancock. Because when it comes to George Kirby coming back, we don't have a date yet. We don't have a date for when George might come back. But unfortunately, because of that, you have to find something to do in the interim if Logan Gilbert is out. I think you go with Logan Evans, but if he's out long term, and we don't know when George is going to come back, we know that Bryce Miller's been dealing with having trouble coming back after starts, right? Bouncing back. I think you go make a trade. Now, what would it take to get these guys? I'm not really sure. I think when it comes to the Pirates, they probably think they have a chance of contending as soon as next year. They might even think that they have a chance to contend this year, although the Cubs have been quite good. For the Cardinals, kind of a similar situation there. They're a team that I think next year takes off, but I don't think they have it this year. So they probably have no qualms about giving up Eric Fetty, right? And then with Zach Littell, he's with the Rays. The Rays, I don't think, have any chance of competing this year because they're in a division with the Red Sox and the Yankees, right? So because of that, they probably also would like to shed that, I think, $7 million Zach Littell is getting paid in 2025. You could probably get Zach Littell for relatively cheap. Are any of these guys, perfect fits? No. None of these guys are perfect fits. These are guys that you have to cover some innings for you until either A, other teams fall out of it and you can go get a more established starter, or B, Emerson Hancock might be your number 5 the rest of the way when George Kirby comes back. Those are our 2 options. And so, Orioles regular season erasure. Hey man, the Orioles are having a pretty tough go of it too, huh? So yeah, I don't know. I think that Logan Evans is the guy in the interim, but it's just so tough to see a world where Logan Evans, over the next, what do we have, 28, 29 starts the rest of the way. Can Logan Evans even make that many starts the rest of the way? Because we know, again, he's relatively young. He hasn't been in the... What's the most innings he's thrown in this season? Hold on. Hide partial rows. Most innings he has thrown in a season, chat, was last year at 107. He's already thrown 25 innings this year. We can assume that maybe he'll be at 100 between 130 and 150 this season, right? So that's 125 innings you could probably get out of Logan Evans at the maximum. So you have to have a plan outside of that. Again, I personally am not horribly upset about this loss. I'm much more concerned. I could tell you are, JD. My goodness. I am much more concerned about the loss of Logan Gilbert because that is much more important than the loss to the Marlins. You know what I mean? The Mariners could... The problem, JD, is, yes, it was a winnable game. However, what happens if you try to come back and win this game, you use all of your relievers, and then you're cooked the next 2 days? What happens if tomorrow the starter has a short start? You're screwed because you have nobody to go. What Casey Lawrence did today was nothing short of incredible. He had to know when his name got called that there's a 99% chance that he is DFA'd tomorrow. He will probably be DFA'd tomorrow. He pitched his ass off, and he will probably be DFA'd tomorrow because of it. Because he threw, 80, 90 pitches. He's not going to be able to pitch for at least 5 days, and he's in your bullpen. You go get a new bullpen arm for tomorrow. Go trade away any older player with value and go young. They just really don't have anyone that's good that's older. I mean, Lawrence deserved better. He deserved a lot better. He only gave up 2 earned runs. He gave up... Casey Lawrence pitched incredibly well. He gave up 2 runs. The rest were all unearned, all because Dylan Moore made an error at second base. Unfortunately, that is the role that Casey Lawrence has. I mean, the thing with Casey Lawrence is he's 37 years old, chat. There's a decent chance that, any time that he gets DFA'd or whatever, that's the end of his career. And so, the fact that he was able to go out there and pitch his ass off tonight, I think that he definitely should come back. Even if he's DFA'd, right, the Mariners should definitely find a way to re-sign him or keep him in the organization. Good for him for going out there, getting kicked in the mouth, and eating it the rest of the way. There's nothing else you could have really done there. Sure, when the score was, 6-4, maybe you could have gone to some different arms there, right? Maybe you could have gone to some different arms to hopefully keep that ball game close. When was that? When it was 6-4? When did Polo hit that home run? One sec, chat. Mariners. No, not Mariners probable pitchers. So that was the 6th inning. So at that point, chat, you probably could have gone to another reliever of some kind. You probably could have gone and to a Trent Thornton or a Colin Snyder at that point. With that being said, the Mariners still didn't score the rest of the way. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The Mariners didn't score the rest of the way. So, you could have gone to another pitcher. It wouldn't have mattered. Logan's chatting on Root Sports after the game right now. Autumn, I need you to be our inside man. Can you relay what he's saying to us? Miller needs to step up and be the man till Kirby comes back. Yep. Yeah. Sad Logan in the post-game presser. Damn. I don't love that. Oh. Man. In the first inning, you could just tell it was his first strikeout, and he kind of turned and he winced, and then he had some words to say, some not so nice words to say. And I looked around and I'm like, is Logan Gilbert hurt? Is he's wincing? And then he did it again that inning. And then when there was the double hit off of him that got reviewed and turned out to be a foul ball, you could see him beforehand. He had his hand in his glove and he was stretching his arm. And at that point, I was like, there's a problem. But I thought maybe he is okay because he came back out the next inning. And I thought to myself, Logan Gilbert's not really the guy. Logan Gilbert's not really the guy to, if he's feeling like he's injured, to continue going out there because he's so conscious of arm health. He is the most diligent when it comes to arm health. Logan Gilbert is on this entire team, in my opinion. We've seen it for years. We've seen it in spring training. We've seen it before games. But he kept going out there, and he looked good. His fastball velo was down a little bit, but not down a ton, which is what I find interesting. Like, let's say he was sitting like 90. I'd say Tommy John. That's 100% Tommy John. The fact that he was sitting 93 instead of 96, whatever, his fastball velo on average was down 1 mile per hour. Yeah, or 2. It might have been 2. Yeah, Jet City. That leads me to believe that it can't be a super serious injury in terms of like he fully tore the UCL, but it still could be damage to the UCL where either they decide to go in and do surgery anyway. UCL correction surgery, I think is what they call it, which is what they just did to Justin Steele. Or they just say rehab it. I would prefer if that's the case, if there's any kind of injury in there, I hope they just do the surgery, because we've seen it time and time again where pitchers won't do the surgery, and then in 5 to 6 months they're like, oh, it didn't heal right, and they do the surgery anyway. He looks pretty down. He tried to throw a few and get back out there, but he couldn't. He said he felt it warming up tonight, and the last week or two he was taking it easy. Oh, man. Yeah, and I agree with AJ. Let's hope that's the case. Because, JP, you got your hoodie? Love to see it. Love to see it, JP. He thinks there will be testing tomorrow on his arm. He doesn't look good emotionally. I mean, how could you be, man? Like, what a devastating injury. And he literally pitched 3 perfect innings with whatever this injury is. Okay, first of all, good for him. Right? And he looked good doing it. Sorry, Chad. I think I'm coming down with a sickness, and I don't love it. Yeah, well, I don't think you've pulled them early, Fritz. They're still throwing 100 pitches. They're still throwing 95 to 100 pitches. It's just they're not getting deep into games. Yeah, I mean, right now Miller's still on the team, but it's like he says he thinks it'll be okay. God, fingers crossed. We need Logan the rest of the way if this team's going to get anywhere close to where we think they need to be. When it comes to this pitching staff, they threw the most innings as a starting pitcher group in all of baseball last year. Eventually the rent comes due, right? Eventually the rent comes due. I think that could be what we're seeing here. It honestly could be that these guys they threw so much last year that it's catching up to them now. It's certainly possible. But has Logan ever had Tommy John? No, he has not. He said, we'll see what happens. It could be worse. He's not crazy concerned, and he's trying to stay optimistic. I mean, yeah, what more can you do, right? He made it sound like he felt like this before, but normally he'd feel a little sore, and then it just kind of goes away, and this time it stayed there. Man, he said he originally wanted to go back out for the 4th, just throw a warm-up pitch for the 4th just to see, but the team said they didn't feel like it was a good idea. Yeah, that's not a good idea. You absolutely... If Logan Gilbert is coming to you saying his arm is sore, you do not send him back out there under any circumstances. Under any circumstances, because you need him for the long haul. If you can mitigate this over the net and make it so it's only like he misses 3 starts, right? 3-4 starts. Awesome. Best case scenario in my opinion right now. Obviously, best case scenario is he doesn't go on the injured list at all and only misses 1 start, but nonetheless. I think Juggernaut Jacob, the best case scenario is probably 15-day IL, in my opinion. Nice shirt. Where can I buy it? Thank you so much for asking, Kyle Jones. You can use the link pinned in the comments above to buy this Mariners Anonymous t-shirt. On the back, it says, if you or a loved one has been diagnosed with a Mariners addiction, you may be entitled to compensation. I'm not going to pay you, but someone might. Link in the description, Kyle Jones. Thank you so much. Yeah. Yeah, I agree on him. The fact that he was doing press is a good sign. Absolutely a good sign. But, yeah, I don't know. It's a very rough way for this homestand to start after the vibes were so incredibly high from this road trip, right? So incredibly high from the road trip. You're checking it out right now. Caden's checking it out. And then you come home and this is what you get handed. Gilbert said he's felt this before and he doesn't think it's serious. God, I hope that's the case. God, I hope that's the case. Got your shirt yesterday? Nice. Let's go, Greg. We love to see it. I mean, the fact that all you guys like got your shirts yesterday and now tonight is, in my opinion, tonight is the biggest like Mariners Anonymous night of all, because this one hurts. This one hurts a lot. And it's not the loss that necessarily hurts. Yes, losing to the Marlins is not the best, right? Obviously, that's a team you want to be able to take care of. They're a scrappy team. Just ask AJ. They're a scrappy team that has been able to put together an okay season so far. But that's a team you should probably beat, especially on your home turf. And then, but the injury to Logan is the net, like, for lack of a better term, chat. The way that Ty Dane Gonzalez put it was, it feels like a dick punch. It feels like a dick punch. You know, after everything that the Mariners have done over the past 2 weeks, it feels like someone just walked up, went, you know, right in the little Julios. So we can still come back and win the series. Exactly. And you know what? The entire road trip, chat, the Mariners lost the first game of every series, and they won all 3 series. Yeah, I agree, Jacob. Props to the bullpen, and Godspeed from here on out for them. If they have to be taxed even more, just think that it has to be said. Yeah. Again, when it comes to what Casey Lawrence did, I'm over the moon with what he was able to do today, honestly. Where have I heard this before? MJ, what's up, dude? That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Autumn, you said you wanted to throw your you said you wanted to throw your remote through the TV. True. That's how many damn injuries we have. I can't even remember who has one. It's that bad. Right in the fastballs. I don't know, man. Again, I think that those 3 guys that I mentioned, we'll probably have a more concise video. Yeah, MJ, they did, and it was not good. It was not good. It hurts. It hurts. We'll have a more concise video. I think probably, maybe, are they off Monday? We'll probably have it for the no, Monday's a podcast. Maybe Tuesday. I don't know. Why is everyone panicked? Because we might be missing Logan, Gilbert for the rest of the year. That's why everyone's panicked. I'm not worried about the team overall, like in terms of their position, like in the standings. I'm worried about the fact that if they have to miss Logan Gilbert for the rest of the year, that position of the standings is going to plummet. That's what I'm worried about. I'm not worried about, like, if you ask me right this very second, like, if I'm worried about where this team is at in terms of the win-loss record, no, I'm not worried about it. But I am worried about the fact that the repercussions of what happens if you do have to miss Logan Gilbert for the rest of the year. Autumn, I believe it's Monday. I believe their next off day is Monday, before the Angels series, because it's only a 2-game series versus the Angels, which is weird. Is that right, Fritz? You punched the TV and Yesenia got you a hotel room for the night. You're gonna fight for custody of our dog, though. Perfect. Can I pet the dog? Can I pet the dog, please? Can I pet that dog? That being said, Kirby can't come back sooner. Yeah, I think that the problem is, chat, is we originally thought that it was going to be like a month, maybe month and a half long absence for George Kirby. He's still not. Monday he's going to face hitters, right? Monday he's going to face hitters for the first time since this injury, right? Then he has to go on at least a 3-game rehab like stint with Tacoma or Everett or what have you. So you're missing Logan Gilbert probably until at the earliest, like late May. At the earliest, late May. And I'm sorry, I said Logan Gilbert. I meant George Kirby. Sorry. To the earliest, late May. So you can't rely on that. And someone asked, so when is Evans making his debut, says Donatello. I would assume in 5 days, chat. What is that in terms of... Yo, JP with the 5 gifted to Autumn. Autumn got one. Nice. To CJ, to Keegan, to Taz, and to David. Yo, JP, I appreciate it. Autumn, well deserved. Well deserved, Autumn. Thank you so much, JP, with the 5 gifted members. Appreciate that, man. So I would assume Evans might make his debut. Oh, God. Okay, so 2 options here, chat. A, they don't skip a start on Monday. Or they don't switch around the rotation with the off day Monday, right? Then Evans would make his debut on May 2nd in Texas versus the Rangers. Ugh. If they do skip a start or change around the rotation, then maybe you can kind of finagle it where he starts against like the Athletics later in the week or something like that, right? Goodness. I really don't want to see him make his debut. Because who was it? Was it Brian Wu that made his debut in Texas and it went horribly? Yeah, rough. Love the positive Vic news. Yeah, same. Also, him being the giveaway model in game is everything. Before the Logan Gilbert injury, chat, I had a thumbnail made up for this stream that was a picture of Victor Robles with the hat and the moose, and then obviously things changed, right? Obviously things changed. Transition Brash back to a starter? No. Especially coming off of the injury? Nah. You definitely can't do that coming off the injury, and he's just way too he's so valuable as a starting pitcher. $2 from Levi says Solano DFA yet? Question mark, dude. I was really hoping it was going to be today because guess what? I think that Tyler Locklear knocked in another couple of runs today, but holy crap, with Jacob Mora with the $51. Ichiro, he says, dude. Can we get... Hey, Autumn, you could participate now. Can we get some smooches, bros, in the chat for Jacob Morrow? Holy crap, Jacob, top D of the day. Also, I said I wanted to see Evans with the club, but not like this. Yeah, Jacob, right? We were talking about saying that Evans would hopefully be up, like, for Hancock, right? After his first bad start. But this sucks. But this... Like, to have Evans potentially coming up because of this sucks. It's nice that you have the opportunity, right, for Evans to come up in this situation. Like, that you have him as an option. But the fact that you're going to be missing Logan Gilbert in the interim is very, very tough with Logan Evans potentially coming up in that scenario. So that's just kind of where things are at with that. I would assume that Evans is the guy in the interim. We talked about it a little bit at the start of the stream here. There are 3 guys that the Mariners could potentially trade for, and there are more that I'll come up with over the next few weeks once we like learn more about this whatever it's called, this injury. Once we learn more about this injury, then I'll be able to put together a video about God, I hate him. About like who the Mariners could go out there and get, but right now I think it's Andrew Heaney. I think it's Eric Fetty, and I think it's potentially Zach Littell. Those are the 3 guys I think the Mariners could go get right now that can cover some innings, but at the same time you can just as easily, like, let's say, you know, Gilbert comes back healthy, Kirby comes back healthy. In that scenario, like, you could probably just get rid of those guys. Like, they're not so good that you have to keep them, but they're also on 1-year deals. Now, I think that is more so if we learn that Logan has to have Tommy John surgery. If we learn that Logan has to have Tommy John surgery, we probably need to have a conversation about a longer-term option. But as of right now, I think those 3 are the guys other than Andrew Heaney. You might want to, Jacob, you might want to check out his season so far. You might change your mind. You might change your mind. Again, though, I think it'll be Logan Evans in the interim until we learn more about this injury. So, how about try and fleece the Pirates for Paul Skeens? Yeah, that might work. Eric Trexler, becoming a member of the Mojovians. Appreciate that, Eric. Injuries ruin sports. I mean, ruins my enjoyment, let me tell you. Not being able to watch Logan Gilbert every 5th day. Yeah, did Jordan Montgomery have TJ? Jordan Montgomery injury. Isn't he injured? Yep. Yeah, Jordan Montgomery's out for the year, chat. Hope he gets back real soon. I'm sure we'll hear more on this. Yeah, probably pretty soon. Pablo is in Pablo Lopez? Is that who you're talking about? Harry Ford for Paul Skeens confirmed. I'm in. Spencer Turnbull right now. The problem with that, Callum, is even if you go out and get Spencer Turnbull, you still have to build him up. You still have to build him up to be able to go out there and eat some innings for you. I would rather the Mariners go out there and get someone who's already built up, which again requires a trade, but still. Would never forgive me if we somehow got Skeens. That's fair. Johnny Cueto's out there. He's definitely retired, right? Also, sorry I missed it earlier, chat. Somebody said James Paxton. He retired. He's retired. Anyway, chat, those are just kind of my thoughts on what the Mariners should do. We'll probably kind of end the stream there and just wait for more information tomorrow. What time's the game tomorrow? I may not be able to stream. Let's see. Tomorrow's game's at 6:40. I might be able to stream. I might be able to stream after the game. We'll have to wait and see. But I'm having like a family get together tomorrow, so I might miss some of the game. We'll have to wait and see. But I'll try to stream tomorrow. Again, these are my thoughts on what the Mariners should do about Logan Gilbert. If and when we hear back about the status of potentially him missing the season, then we will have a more concise video about what the Mariners should do in the long term. But for now, we're just going to assume it's the short term, and it's going to be Logan Evans. But I appreciate you guys being here, even on a tough night like tonight. Make sure you guys have some Mariners Anonymous juice. 14 and 12 Project 54 continues. Project 54. Love that, Fritz, with the $2. How do you get a membership, Colton? You can, if you hit the join button down below, Colton, you can get that. You can join and become a member of the Mojovians, get access to the emotes like Autumn just did. Smooches bros to you guys. Again, I'll try to be live tomorrow evening, if not potentially Sunday, but I appreciate you guys for being here. Hopefully better